Everybody, it's Caitlin, your geeky girlfriend. Ignore the noise that you hear in the background. I'm working out in the little gym in my hotel since I'm traveling. I thought I would use this time to catch up on some book reviews with you guys. So I apologize for the noise in the background. Just turn up your volume, try and get close to your computer, listen to my audio. But yeah, something a little different today because we are going to catch up on some book reviews that I have gotten behind on. And I thought this was a perfect time to do it. Got a few minutes on the treadmill, so we'll just chitty chat about some books. If you are new here, thank you so much I'm so glad that you found this video. Like it, give me a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know in the comments if you've read the book below. And then make sure you go check out all of my other book reviews, especially from this year. And if you are new here, I'm Caitlin. I do book reviews, movie reviews, clothing hauls, travel vlogs. This channel is just a little bit of everything that I do in my life, and it's just a fun hobby, and I just do it for me, so there's not really a niche to it. If you find something that you like here on my channel, subscribe and be my friend, and you can go follow me on Instagram too. And my goal for this year with reading was to read 24 books, and the one we're going to review today was actually 3 books in one. So I completed a trilogy recently, and I don't have the books here with me, but you guys can use your imagination, look them up on your own. Besides, the one that I read is like an alternate cover, so it doesn't even look the same as what you would find in the store. So today we're going to be reviewing the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Hahn. I have previously reviewed her other series, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, right here on this channel. So scroll way down towards the beginning of the channel where the channel starts. And you'll find that trilogy reviewed as well. I do think I have a movie review for that because Netflix did a movie of it. So you can find that here on the channel too. But not to compare apples to oranges, but you kind of have to when comparing works by the same author. This one definitely falls short of the last one. I really enjoyed To All the Boys I Loved Before. It was fun. It was charming. There was a little bit of drama in it. This one, The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer are the 3. And the book that I had was like this big. It was all of them in one, which was kind of nice because I just kind of powered through them. And I do have full reviews or semi-full reviews over on my Goodreads at Caitlin McClure also. But these ones just, quite frankly, were boring. We're going to kind of talk about all 3 books in this video, and they just were kind of boring, honestly. I read the first one. I had high hopes because of P.S. I Love You and To All the Boys I've Loved Before and all of that. I had really high hopes going in. And I just wanted so much more out of it. I wanted so much more out of the series. I wanted more character development for Belly's brother. I don't know why it took us 3/4 of the way through the book to find out Belly's real name. And this is like a classic summer romance, love triangle, like so many young adult tropes. And if these are your thing, good for you. I thought these were my thing. This one was boring. I hate to admit that it was boring because there wasn't that like romantic intensity, but I do think if it would have had a little bit more of that, it would have been a little bit better. So they were bland in that respect. There just was not any romantic intensity at all. I think in the first one, Belly maybe kisses a boy and they talk about her first kiss, but other than that, it's just like her feeling left out and kind of pining about how she's not in with the boys. That's essential. And then her pining over Conrad, the older of these 2 brothers that she spends all the summer with. So the premise of these books, I should have started with that maybe. The premise of these books is that there are 2 mothers, and they were best friends in college, bridesmaids in each other's weddings, etc., still friends to this day. And every summer, they get their 2 families together at this summer house that's on a beach. So again, it's a beach read. It's very fluffy, very light, easy read for summer. And Belly, the main character, just turned 16, so it's got like that, oh, it's the summer I turned pretty, because now I have some curves and the boys are looking at me differently and things like that. And she has always had feelings for Conrad, the older brother, but Jeremiah, the younger brother, is like her best friend, and she's like, she starts to kind of get these like flirtatious tendencies from Jeremiah and gets nothing in response from Conrad, or she does, but she's not sure how to read them because he's older and blah, blah, blah. So it's just her essentially being confused about her own feelings, Conrad's feelings for her. Anyway, so that's essentially the first book. Okay, so again, boring, not a lot of intensity, just kind of, but the relationship between Susanna and Belly's mom is really good, and kind of some of the dynamics between the moms and the dads are played into, but I wanted more of that. I also wanted more of Stephen, Belly's brother, and their relationship, but you don't really get that. It's just essentially Belly and her feelings. So overall for the first book, I gave it a 2. I was bored. I wanted to just be done with it. But then on the last page, it makes you want to read the second one. So the very, very last page, like, drew me back in, made me read the second one right away. So the first one I gave a 2. I would say for a young adult reader who likes romances, this would be a very easy, fluffy summer read. So if you are a teenage girl who's looking for something light to read, I would encourage you to try this series. They did make another, either an Amazon Prime or a Netflix movie to follow it. I might check that out because I think maybe on screen this script would play a little bit better, like the drama between them. But let's talk about the second one. The second one, It's Not Summer Without You. So there is a slight spoiler here. Susanna, Conrad and Jeremiah's mom, has cancer. She was fighting it and was in remission. In the first book, she actually gets it again. So you can kind of, deduce that during the second book, Susanna is no longer around. This book had an extra element of grieving and an extra element of all of the kids, so both of the boys and Belly kind of coping, but also Belly's mom coping as well. So I liked it a little bit better from that perspective. I liked that we had a little bit different emotions playing into the story, and it's not just Belly pining over this boy anymore. The events of the very last page of number 1 play out in number 2, definitely not in the way that you expect, and you're just kind of left like this. Like, we had that last page for what? For nothing? So it's kind of frustrating from that regard, but in terms of character development, I do think that all of the characters kind of grow up a lot in the second one, and so that made it a little bit better. I gave the second one a 3, but again, the second one, she leaves you hanging on a cliffhanger because I was ready to put this trilogy down, walk away from it from a few months, and come back like right at the end of summer, pick it back up, read the third one, because I have a lot of other things on my list, right? And this one just was not delivering. And I actually went to a bookstore and bought a new book to read on the way home because I did not want to read the third one. That's how over this series I was. I did end up reading a book in between the second and third one, which we'll talk about in another video. But moving on to the third one, We'll Always Have Summer. Again, on the second one, she throws this cliffhanger in that makes you want to read the third one. And I was like, okay, yes, this is going to be good. No. It literally was boring until the last 25 pages when the climax happens and everything kind of sort of finally falls into place. Conrad gets his act together. Belly stops playing around and she stops leading people on, and she just finally is honest with herself. And I think that's the most annoying part to me, is that Belly is not honest with herself, and she just keeps denying and pushing down these feelings, and she keeps trying to lie to herself about how she feels. And it's very frustrating. And I know that she's supposed to be 18, 19, so she doesn't have that forethought and all of that to know the brevity of her decisions, but still, I was annoyed and I was frustrated, and I wanted it to be over. The bonus with the third one is it does have a wedding, so there's kind of the fun detail of the wedding being planned and her picking out a dress and different things. I would say overall the series ended the way that I wanted it to end. I did see some really funny comments and reviews about this series that I read after I finished it. And I gave the third one a 2 because, again, it was just kind of boring and lackluster. I still wanted more character development from Steven. I still wanted more of his involvement in the story. I wanted more of Belly's dad in the story throughout the entire trilogy. I wanted the main boy characters to just be better characters. So there was just a lot of like frustrating things for me with this series, and in comparison to her other series, To All the Boys I Loved Before, like Peter was a very likable character. Her dad was a very likable character. And so this series just, I felt like it lacked a likable character. It was hard to like Conrad. It was really hard to like Jeremiah, especially in book number 3. And it was hard to like Belly most of the time. So yeah, overall, I would give the entire series maybe a 3 because it is a 3-book series and they are all like 250 to 300. So if you are in a book club that has a page limit requirement, you could read this series. They're very fluffy, they're very light, and they made me want to be at the beach. Those were the positives. Everything else, So, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Do with this review what you will. If these books are on your list because you want to watch the movie or you have watched the movie and now you want to read the books, I would probably just say maybe just stick to the movie because I haven't even seen the movie and I feel like it'll translate better on screen than it did on paper for me. This sounds so terrible. This is like one of the more negative reviews I've posted this year, but I'm all about honesty and transparency in this channel, and you just read books that you don't like. And I just turned 29. Young adult fiction is probably just not the genre that I'm just going to relate to anymore, which is kind of a sad reality, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a different viewpoint for this review, this kind of like walking, talking review. Make sure you check out all of the other book reviews here on my channel. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and hit that red button and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. And by the way, this trilogy marks and ends book. It was 14, 15, and 16 for the year. And it's not even the end of June yet. So I'm feeling really good, really confident that we're going to meet this goal. And I'm super pumped about it. So stay tuned for the rest of the journey. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.